We're all so unique, and it's so important to remember that. But when I was in New York, that's when I really realized that there's an entire world out there which I haven't explored. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about how I came up with One You and why it's so important to me and so close to my heart. So the thing is that there will never be another you. There will never be another opportunity to live a great life. So therefore, for me, it's so important that you live your best life and you make sure to do the things that you love and be you, like be your authentic, real, true self. That's something I have been struggling with through the years and something I constantly working on still till this day, but I'm getting so much better on it. And I'm not saying that you should be like selfish in a bad way and be like super ego and not care about other people. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I want you to remember is that you are the most important person in your life. So just as they say during flights, you have to put on your oxygen masks first in order to help other people. So what I mean with that is that in order for you to help other people and in order for you to be there for other people, it's so important that you actually feel good and feel like you do the things that you love, but also feel good from the inside and out. So you actually have the energy in order to help other people, because if you don't have your energy and your health, for example, it's hard for you to be there for other people and support them. So something that I have been feeling is that throughout my life, I've always been trying to fit in. It's been like, I want to be the person that I think people want me to be. And that's not how you should like approach life, in my opinion, because when I started to do the things that I love and the things that I want to do, that's when I felt like my real self and I felt so alive. So that's something I really encourage you to do as well, to take like those scary big steps that you have been wanting to take, or like travel the world, quit your job and do your own business, or whatever you feel like you want to do and that makes you feel alive. That's something I totally encourage you to do, because you only have one you. So throughout my life, as I said, I've always been trying to fit in. I wanted to like follow the stream and like not be different, even though like you realize that different is good, because you are you and you're not supposed to be someone else. So it's so important to actually remember that. I always thought that I was supposed to have a 9-to-5 job. I was supposed to live in this small city, buy a house, and I was supposed to have a family early and all that. And I actually thought that was going to happen, and that was what I was supposed to do. And up until I went on a trip to New York, which was life-changing. I think I kind of like have felt it coming during the years, like as I got into my teenage years, and I felt like I was different. I was not as like everyone else. And of course, no one is like anyone else. So we're all different. We're all so unique. And it's so important to remember that. But when I was in New York, that's when I really realized that there's an entire world out there which I haven't explored. And this country is so crazy. I'm so bad at English. That's what I was thinking at the moment. And I actually was. I wasn't good. It was embarrassing. But anyhow, that's when I realized that I do want to live here. I do want to get better at English. I want to experience another culture. I want to see what it is like to actually live here for a while. So I started to look for schools, but before then, let's back it up a little bit, because when I was in New York, I also decided that I wanted to get my first tattoo. But I definitely, like, it was nothing that I planned. And it was so hard to come up with, like, what should I get? I don't know. Like, a feather, but it feels like everyone else has that. And I wanted to come up with something unique. I don't know if this is something unique, but for me, it was something really close and dear to my heart. And I tattooed 3 words on my rib cage on my left side. And the tattoo says, believe in yourself. Those are 3 of the strongest words, like, in my opinion, for me during my upbringing, because I was always so self-conscious and my self-esteem was pretty low. And I don't know why, because my parents were always so supportive. They loved me so much, and they always encouraged me to do whatever I wanted to do in life. And I'm so happy. I have the best parents in the world, honestly. So I don't know. I just always put a lot of pressure on myself to always perform my best in whatever I did, both in school and sports and all that. I was always so harsh on myself. Playing soccer, which was a team sport. I'm not saying that I'm against team sports, but what I did was that I put a lot of pressure on myself. So when game day came around, I was so stressed out because I was afraid of letting, like, my other teammates down. I was always, like, so insecure, and I didn't really believe in myself. But when I was in New York, I was like, I need to stop this. I need to start believing in myself. I need to, like, I know that I can do things. I really, truly do. And I just need to be able to actually express it to other people as well. Because I was afraid of saying what I was thinking and what I wanted to do, because I was afraid of what people would think about me. So when I tattooed these 3 words, I was like, now I need to change this. I need to be myself at all times. Just not only when I feel secure. I need to always be me. Just like I encourage you to always be you. It's so important. And you feel way better when you start living your life that way. So after that tattoo and after being in New York, I started to look for schools. I started to look for places to move. And I really wanted to go to New York, but after a little bit, I found a school in Los Angeles. And I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, maybe that's actually a better place to go to. So I ended up moving to LA. And that was this incredible experience, to be honest. I moved all by myself. My mom was so worried for me. And I guess my dad as well. He didn't express it as much, but my mom did. And she was like, should you really go by yourself? And I just felt so empowered by this entire experience. Or, like, just thinking about it beforehand, I was like, I really need to do this for me. I really, really need to. And I didn't say that it was easy, because it was definitely not easy. I had some setbacks trying to get into school, because I did this English test that you had to do in order to get in. And of course I failed the first time. Not of course, I shouldn't be like that, but I failed the test the first time, and I was only like a couple of scores under. But I was like, I'm not giving up. I believe in myself. I'm not giving up. I'm going to get there. And the second time I passed. So I booked my flight. I found a place to live, and I booked a hostel for the first couple of days, and I was so excited to go. And I remember the feeling still, like, such a weird feeling. I had my life packed up in 2 suitcases, and my mom was crying, and I was also, like, sad, of course. But at the same time, I was so excited, so I couldn't really cry. I was just, like, so excited to go. And then on the plane, I was all by myself, and it was just crazy to, like, try to imagine what it would be like when I got to LA, and I couldn't. I landed there, and it was so weird. I was like, oh my God, I'm in this huge city all by myself. I found a guy that had, like, with a cab, and took the cab to the hostel, checked in at the hostel, and the first thing I did, I remember, is that I left my suitcases there, and I walked down to the beach. I was like, I just need to go to the beach. And I walked down in the sand and it was so amazing. The feeling is, I can't even explain what it was like. It's just this crazy. I still get goosebumps when I talk about it, because when I was there, I was feeling like I'm home. This is where I'm supposed to be. And I was also feeling there are bigger things for me out there. There's something I'm meant to do. There's like something I'm meant to help people, inspire people, motivate people in some way. And I just feel like with me moving here to LA, I will be able to do that somehow, someday. I just didn't know when or how or where. And I just felt like standing there in the sand, overlooking the ocean, all the way to the horizon, seeing this amazing water and just breathing. I was just tearing up, and I felt that there was something bigger for me out there. And the decision to move to LA was definitely the best thing I've done in my entire life. It was so just like this feeling that I had never ever had in my body before in my entire life. So with that, I do want to say that if you have a dream, just go for it, because you only have you. You only have one you. You only have one life. And remember that life is precious. You are precious. So it's important to live the life to the fullest, in my opinion. And that's what I really did when I just moved to LA without knowing anyone. It was the best decision that I've ever made in my entire life. It was scary, of course, but it was so amazing. So if you do have something you want to do, I encourage you to do it. Just to do it. So I also want to talk about what makes up one Josefine, or one me. And it's actually pretty fantastic, because I feel like that's someone I created. Sounds weird. I'm not created in, but I could kind of recreate me into the Josefine that I always wanted to be, but I felt like I couldn't really be when I was back in my hometown. But now I can, and I don't know why I was so worried about being the me that I wanted to be back then. But it was about this thing about fitting in. And when I came to LA, no one knew me, so I could just be the person that I've always wanted to be. So the one Josefine is a training nerd who loves to train, preferably 24/7 if possible, but can't. I know I need to rest. I love healthy foods, and I love lots of food, but I prefer eating healthy because I know how processed sugary food affects my body, because I have autoimmune diseases and I'm super sensitive to sugars and alcohol and stuff. So I prefer healthy foods, whole foods, non-processed and nutritious foods. I always try to have a positive mindset. I say I'm always positive, smiling, and I do have this nothing is impossible mindset, because remember, the word impossible actually says it itself. So it says I am possible, right? So that's something I always trying to have with me, that nothing is impossible. Everything is possible. Just go out there, do your best, and you'll figure it out. I promise you. So I love to wake up early in the morning. I love to meditate, train, eat my breakfast, healthy breakfast. Most of the time, it's kind of more of a lunch breakfast, because I love food, and I'm not a fan of breakfast food. So I usually eat lunch for breakfast, people say. And then after that, I love to work all day, help my clients, because that's what I love my job. It's just so rewarding to see people change their lives. Not only change their body, but also change their mindset and gaining this confidence and strength. It's so rewarding, and I love to inspire and motivate people. And that's what I really want to do. I want to inspire and motivate as many people as I can. That's my number one thing. I love to do that so much. That's things that I love to do, and walks, breathing, meditation, in order to feel my best Because when you feel your best, it's easier to look your best. Because if you feel good on the inside, it's way easier to spread that to the outside, I would say. If you feel good inside, it's easier to do these things like train and go out on walks and just be more active. So it's really amazing. One you actually came from the believe in yourself. And the believe in yourself came from my first trip to the US. It's just crazy how life works, how things happens throughout the years, and you think you're gonna end up like in one spot, but then like other things takes you to different spots throughout your life. And like I try to have a plan and a goal, but I'm always flexible and open to whatever is happening to me, because it's so interesting to see where you end up. But also, I always try to listen to my heart and what I want to do, and not to listen to what other people want me to do, because it's something I've learned throughout the years that it's actually, I do listen to what other people think, but in the end of the day, I need to listen to what I want. And that's what I want to encourage you to do as well, because it's so important that you listen to you. Again, you only have one you only have one life, so make sure to live your life to the fullest. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. One you is close to my heart, and if I can help you find your one you, that will truly mean the world to me. So if you want me to be your coach and help and guide you both with training, but also with mindset, I would love to do that. You can either go to my website, josephineholmberg.com, my Instagram, Holmberg Josephine, or my email. You can email me at josephineholmberg1@gmail.com. But an important point here is that my name, Josephine, actually is spelled the Swedish way. So it's spelled Josefine. So it's F instead of PH. I'll also share all this in the show notes so you can find it there. Have an amazing day, and remember, be you, do you, and live your life to the fullest. I love you all.